Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I'm just going to start this new YouTube channel about practicing yoga. I have been practicing consistently for about 12 years, and I've been teaching for 10 plus years, and I'm certified. I don't know why I'm saying all that. We are just all here together in our living rooms doing yoga. So this is unusual for me. I don't like being in front of the camera. Usually I like being behind the camera, taking pictures of family and landscapes and things, but here we are. COVID-19 brings us here wherever you are. Like I said, I'm in the middle of my living room, just trying to make it work, just like everything else. And I'm going to just offer up a meditation today, just a grounding meditation, because everything has changed so much outside of us. So we're just going to begin to go inside of us, inside of our center. Now, you probably can't see Rosie over here, but I think if we're real quiet, you can probably hear her snoring. Hear that? And she has to stay in the room because when she's not in the room with me, she'll cry. So it's either crying on the video or snoring on the video. So let's choose snoring. So if you're at home or at work or wherever you might be, you probably want to have some kind of elevation here. I'm using a block, but if you don't have a block, you could use a couch pillow, or books will work too, stacked books. Bolsters work as well, a folded up blanket, a firm blanket. This just allows our hips to roll forward, and that helps us to elongate our back. And when we elongate our spine in the back, then this opens up our hearts and our lungs and our throats. So just adding a little bit of elevation there helps. With legs, I'm in simple cross-legged, but if that's not comfortable for you because of the way you're built, we're all built differently. We all have different proportions and shape of bones in our hip, the length of bones. So even if you're not flexible, yoga can be a wonderful practice for just getting in the body. So you can also have your feet just go out like this in a wide diamond pose, or if you like, you can have the legs go long in a staff pose. If you choose, you might have your hands grounded on the earth just to give more sense of grounding. And if you really feel had a hard day, week, month, you might even lay down on the mat and just completely lie down and let your arms be beside you and just let your legs out and feel the earth underneath us. So we're coming to a seated position, whatever your easy pose is. It's something where you're not having so much sensation that it's distracting you from your meditation, whatever that is for you. So coming into whatever your easy pose is, you can close your eyes if you wish. If that makes you dizzy or it's uncomfortable, you can have something in front of you that you can focus on. Some people might use a light or a candle, or something meaningful for you that you would like to meditate on. Then also you can have and I apologize, I lost my train of thought. I had a car wreck 2 years ago, so I also have a traumatic brain injury, and sometimes just words just go right out of my head. So here we are in this very real situation, and Maybe I'll think of it later. So anyway, we're coming to a comfortable seated posture, either with your eyes closed. I remembered, if you don't have an object in front of you, you can imagine an object in front of you, and that would give you the same focus for your mind. So wherever you are, beginning to breathe through the nose if you can. I know it's allergy season here. But just noticing the breath. Wherever you are, noticing how it feels in the body. Noticing the inhales, the exhales. Where does it feel tight? Where does it feel stagnant? And of course, we all know that the lungs hold the breath. And what I mean by that is just the feeling of freedom in the body, the feeling of restriction in the body. So just using the breath and trying to inhale. If you like, you can take your right hand and place it right underneath your belly button. And as you inhale, inhale into your hand. And just giving permission for the belly to stop contracting. Giving permission for the belly, the diaphragm here, to relax so that we can take a deeper breath. And as we inhale, the diaphragm compresses. As we exhale, the diaphragm goes long. So just inhaling, exhaling. And we're not making judgments about our breath. There's no shoulds. There's no, I used to be able to. It's all in this moment is what this breath is about. So as we pay attention to the breath, we're empowering our inner witness. And our inner witness is just that part of ourself that notices without judgment. Coming to the breath and just letting it be what it is for the moment without really changing it. And isn't that where we are right now? If we can breathe in this moment, then we're accomplishing something today, something positive. So as we move into grounding, what this meditation is about, now that we've noticed our breath, let's notice the sensation in our legs. And perhaps on the next exhale, just release the legs to the earth. Just release them. And then on the inhale, let the belly be nice and wide. But on the exhale, maybe grow roots in the legs. And as I said before, you might even take your hands and place them on the earth. The earth is always there for us. The earth is supporting us. The earth gives us that grounded feeling, even when things are seemingly chaotic. You might even take your hands and let your thighs roll outward, either imagining that you're doing that or even taking your hands and rolling your thighs out, just to let the hips receive that opening, and then exhaling into the earth. On the next exhale, just begin to feel the seat sink into whatever prop or that you're seated on, or the earth. Inhaling, exhaling, feeling how the body is balancing between the right and the left. And just release the body's holding from the waist down. Now, as we get into that grounding feeling, as we exhale, we might begin to change our breath. We might begin to inhale and count. And then as we exhale, just count a little bit longer and maybe have a pause there. So it might sound like this. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale. Exhale. Pause. And whether your number is 3 or 2 or 5 or 6, everybody breathes at a different rate. So just breathing the way that feels comfortable for you and natural. And if you have to stop the measured breath just to take a natural breath, that's okay too. And now, as we continue to inhale and to exhale, let's open the front of the body. Let the shoulders go up, back, and down. You might have your hands still on the earth. You might have them on your lap. Open the front of the heart. This might feel a little unusual at this time. During these times of anxiety or fear, worry, whether we notice it or not, sometimes our posture changes, and it might change to hover the shoulders over to protect the heart, and really, at a more primal level, protect the internal organs. So just being aware of that and just daring, maybe just for this meditation, to lift the heart and open the heart and just be in that moment and just again notice and be a witness. Relax the throat. Elongate the back of the neck. You can do this by just tucking your chin in a little bit toward the back of the neck. And let that elongate the back of the neck all the way through the top of the head. Try to open the mind. Just imagine the forehead opening, the eyes relaxing. And just come into this full open breath as we continue to breathe. Now just for the next few moments, maybe for the next breath, maybe for the rest of the meditation, maybe for the rest of your day or evening, see if you can come into that sacred space that's right here in center, right underneath the belly button. Breathe and just feel that central rooted part of ourselves, that grounded part of ourselves, that the light of ourselves, our true selves, that was there when we took our first breath, and maybe even before. that part of ourselves, that's the last part to dim as we leave the earth. Or maybe it doesn't. Root into that centered part of yourself that doesn't change. That rooted, central, core part of you that's always there. Continue to breathe and see if you can elongate the feeling of your legs from center into the earth. See if you can elongate upward toward the sky, like a flower reaching for the sun, from center. So we have this dual energy grounding. The second energy, the part of our energy that reaches and hopes and prays and surrenders and loves. That light that's inside of us that does not dim. So this core part of ourselves that remains the same. It's our truest self. It's the part of ourself that is our core self, our true self. Sometimes we might get into different identities that either, or roles that we have been assigned by society or perhaps by ourselves. These may be roles that we play. Sometimes we identify ourselves by our jobs. Sometimes we identify ourselves by playing a role in a family or in the community. So just recently, because of our circumstances, with the world dealing with this pandemic, these things might have changed or shifted. So previously we may have been a working mom or a working dad or uncle or cousin or grandmother, and that may have changed. Our jobs may not be the same, and we may not be working. Also, we may have added on more. Perhaps we are now teaching at home or caretaking that we have not done before. So these things outside of ourselves shift, and they may have shifted greatly recently. That's why in yoga, in meditation, we can return back to our breath. Our breath is always in this moment. Inhaling and exhaling, paying attention to the breath, brings us to this moment. And perhaps here, just in the next breath, perhaps for the rest of this meditation, perhaps the rest of the day or the evening, maybe we can just let those roles or identities drop. We can always pick them back up after this. But just for now, perhaps our grounding meditation is to just feel and focus on that core part of ourselves, the light that does not change, that core part of who we are. We are still that grounded person. when we breathe. Pay attention to the breath. And that will bring us to the present moment. Again, we can pick up the anxieties about the future, the anticipation, fear. We can pick those up again if we like at any time. But just for the next few moments, let's just release in our exhale all of the outside identities and just focus on this center, core, true self that we have. Returning back to center. Returning back to our true self. Grounding. Centering. Breathing. Returning back to the breath. Over and over and over again. Do this as long as you need to, as long as you're able in this moment. You may continue as long as you like. As you finish, I invite you to raise your palms upward, lifting your heart in surrender, bringing the hands over the heart in namaste, and just bowing in gratitude for our yoga practice. Namaste.